Welcome again, dear students. I am Dr. Kaleem Ahmed, Assistant Professor, Department of Wildlife Sciences, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Now, in these lectures, we will discuss the sustainable practices and mission life. Before I can say going in detail, first we need to know what is actually the sustainable development and what is actually the mission life. Actually, sustainable development is that meets the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. On the other hand, if we talk about the mission life is a global movement to safeguard our environment from impact of the climate change, and ultimate goal is to conserve the biodiversity. There are several reasons actually why we need a sustainable development and why everyone is actually talking about the mission life. Actually, environment degradations and climate change impact ecosystems and the population across the globes. Without any timely actions, 800 millions to 3 billion peoples are projected to experience chronic water scarcity due to the droughts at 2 degrees Celsius warming. Global economy could also lose up to 18% of GDP by 2050 without the urgent action by all of us. There are several policy reforms have already been implemented globally to address the environmental degradations and climate change, and actions actually are now required at the level of the individuals, communities, as well as at the level of the institutions. Despite we can say enormous potentials of all these actions at the level of the individuals, communities, and the institutions, these actions have received limited attentions. Life is actually is an India-led global mass movements, and it was actually introduced by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, at COP26 in Glasgow on 1st November 2021 as a mass movement of mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumptions to protect and prevent the environments. And the primary aims of this is to nudge individuals as well as communities to practice a lifestyle that is synchronous with nature and does not harm it. Those we can say who practice such a lifestyle are recognized as the pro-planet peoples. India, we can say, is the first country to include life in its nationally determined contributions. And actually our Prime Minister said that mission life actually asks the people to make small change in behavior by becoming lifestyle for environments. Our Prime Minister said that the mission life asks people to make small change in the behavior by becoming lifestyle for environmental champions. India's traditional lifestyle are actually inherently sustainable, and we are well positioned to showcase to the world that change at the level of the individuals and change at the level of the society are key to contributing towards the climate change solutions. As a global program, we can say Mission Life has three core shifts in our collective approach towards sustainability. First is change in demand at the phase first, second is change in the supply, phase second, and the third is change in the policy, the phase third. And in phase first, we need to nudge individuals across the world to practice simple yet effective environment friendly actions in their daily lives. And at the stage seconds, there is need a change in the large scale individual demand to gradually nudge industries and markets to respond and tailor supply and procurement as per the revised demands. And at the third stage, change in the policy by we can say by influencing the demands and the supply dynamics of the India and the world. The long-term vision of mission life is to trigger shifts in large-scale industrial and the government policies that can support both sustainable consumptions as well as production. Mission Life in 2022 and 2023, Mission Life will focus on the phase first, change in demand by nudging individuals, community, and the institutions to practice simple environmental friendly actions in their daily lives. We can say, in view of mission life being launched in the 75 years of the India's independence, a comprehensive and non-exhaustive list of 75 individual actions across 7 categories are identified, and such that most actions are actually specific and measurables. They are also easy to practice by the individuals, communities and the institutions with minimum supply side dependence. They are also non-destructive to ongoing economic activity, and in fact promoting economic activity in the foreseeable future. And we can say the mission life 7 themes are save energy, save water, say no to single use plastics, reduce e-waste, adopt sustainable foods systems, reduce waste and adopt healthy lifestyles. So let's discuss these 7 themes one by one. The first is save energy. In our daily life, we do not realize that how much energy we waste. When we take small steps to save energy, we not only reduce our cost but also helps create a healthy environments and energy that secure the nations. Some of the examples that we can take at the individual levels: we need to switch off the electric appliances when not in use. We need to use LED bulbs instead of, we can say, ordinary bulbs, which save energy up to 75%. We need to use or we need to turn off irrigation pumps after use, and we need to prefer sprinkle or drip irrigations to flood irrigation to save energy. Another, say, water security, we can say, remains a major challenge in India. High to extreme water crisis affects 600 million people in India, and 54% of the Indian groundwater wells are declining. Between 1951 to 2014, India's per person's annual water availability declined by about 70%. And some of the actions that we can do at the individual levels are: we need to practice rainwater harvesting, we need to give priority to cultivation of less water intensive crops, and we need to use effective water saving techniques such as micro irrigations, burning, laser leveling and farm ponds. Another is say no to single use plastics. According to, we can say, Central Pollution Control Boards, India generated about 34.7 lakh or 3.7 million tons of the plastics waste in 2029-2022. So avoiding the use of items made from the plastics that can only be used once is one of the important steps to reduce the damaging impact of health and the environments. And the step of India to ban single-use plastic in 1st July 2022 includes plastics, cups, glass, cutlery, forks, spoons, knives, and the cigarette plastics and the plastic from the PVC banners of less than 100 microns. And some of the examples that we can do at the individual levels: we need to use cloth bags instead of the plastic bags for shopping. We need to use non-plastic cutlery, we can say, during gatherings and the events. We also try to use recycled plastics. Another is reduce waste. Reducing, refusing and recycling are the key ways to reduce the heavy burden of the water on the environment and health. Efficient waste management is a key to keeping our surrounding clean, which in turn lead to lot of social, economic and environmental benefits. And some of the examples that we can do at the individual levels are: we don't need to throw garbage in water bodies and public places. We need to segregate dry and wet waste at the homes, and we also need to adopt sustainable lifestyles to reduce generation of the waste, and we also ensure recyclings at the every step. Another is adopt sustainable food systems. Consuming, we can say, locally available and seasonal foods are the key ways of contributing to sustainable food systems. Some of the examples that we can do at the individual levels are: we need to include millets in our diets. We need to consume different types of the millets like bajra, jawar, ragi, and locally available vegetables like millets. And they actually contains many key nutrients for the good health. Another, we need to compost household waste. Peels, leaves easily convert into compost, so we need never throw it away, and we need to ensure that this plastic waste is not accidentally disposed with the biodegradable wastes. Another things that is reduce e-waste. We can say throwing away discarded electronic gadgets instead of recycling them as a severe environmental health consequences. And the example of the actions includes we need to give our broken and our old electronic equipment to nearest shops or the centers, and extending the life of our electronic equipments by maintaining it well. And we also need to switch to cloud storage instead of purchasing hard drives and pen drives. And we also need to adopt healthy lifestyles. Choosing to lead a healthy lifestyles reduce the damage on our environment and improves our health. Some of the examples that we can do at the individual levels: we need to ensure biodiversity conservation at the community levels. We need to start or join green clubs in our residential areas, schools, or the office. And we need to ensure to make Ayurvedic medicines a part of our daily life, and we need to adopt natural or organic farming. And we can say environment protection is actually linked to the efforts of every individual. Ancient Indian literature is replete with the reference to the management, conservation, and the protection of the environments. We can say textbooks like Arthashastra, Upandyas, and Vedas are full of verses that actually highlight the values of the environment protections. Let's this ancient wisdom guide our everyday action. Let us choose life. There are A to Z sustainable lifestyles. Let's discuss these A to Z sustainable life that we need to incorporate in our daily life. Let's start from A, alternate to plastics. We need to refrain from using plastics products to the extent possible, and for that we need to adopt, or we can need to use bamboo bottles, glass bottles, paper straws, and the cloth bags. And we also need to use locally sourced nature-based products like wooden spoons and other things. And other is, we can say, biodiversity conservations. We need to respect our natural habitats. Don't buy products like kawi, leathers, that actually comes from the endangered species. And during walking, or we can say during hiking trails, stick to the walking paths and don't trample on the vegetations. Another, we can say, is circular economy. Try and repair the things like clothing, accessories, instead of throwing away as a trash. And we need to water plants with water that actually has been used to wash vegetables and the lentils. And we also need to use old newspapers for the packings instead of using the new ones. So we can say another is digital consciousness, reducing the size of the, we can say, documents sent by the email. To reduce the size of the message is one step. Always ask for the e-statements, and we need to regularly deleting our emails and emptying the recycle bin so that more space is available. Another, we can say, is energy efficiency. Buy a product that is actually rated by the 5 stars according to Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Turn off your appliances such as microwave, mixers, and do not leave them on standby when not in use. Always turn off your, we can say, switches as well as ACs, heaters, lights when not in use. And other things, that is fuel wise, keep always ingredients ready at hand before turning on gas, and soaking rice and the lentils for a while before cookings. Eating together, we can say, also preferred, so that food is not reheated multiple times. In this way, we can say, conserve fuel. Another, we can say, is go greens. Try to plant more and more number of the trees. Try to walk or cycles to small distance instead of drivings. So take some kind of the resolutions to plant trees on the important occasions such as births, marriage, and the butterflies. Gift indoor plants on various festivals and the occasions. Another is healthy planet and healthy earth. Buy fresh fruits as well as vegetables and avoid high processed foods and beverages. And throw your garbages in the designated bins. And treat your surroundings like you treat your homes. Another is unite to take climate actions to protect your health, and change to our renewable energy providers. Another is technological adaptations. Adopting clean techs, we can say, refers to products or companies that provide renewable energy and eco-friendly alternatives to current technologies. Adopting drip or sprinkle irrigations, and promoting in situ recyclings of the household wastes as well as zero liquid discharge in the industries, and other things that we can do. Another is judicious use of the resources. Follow the Gandhi's talisman and his philosophy of the minimalisms. Don't extract more than requires, and don't waste water and the food. Another is knowledge sharing is also very important. Try to give preference to the medicine, herbs, and the plants. Value the Indian cultures and conserving the values of conserving trees, and celebrate the festivals in an eco-friendly manners. Another is landscaping, design kitchen gardens, vertical and terrace gardens in the homes for thermal regulations. Another use plants that cost less energy like native plants adapted well to the environments. Covering loose grounds with the moss is another step that we can do at the individual levels. Planting large shade trees on the sides facing the sun is another step that we can do at the individual level. Another is micro environment management, conducting water and energy added to electricity and the water bills in homes, colonies and the schools is another way. Try to adopt environment friendly measures such as rainwater harvesting, e-waste recycling in home, colonies and the schools, office. Choose environment friendly and sustainable materials for furnitures, flooring and furnishings. We can say need not to be greedy, adopt we can say carpoolings as much as possible, avoid food wastage during functions, marriages and parties, and share stationery printers in the office. We can say another things that we can do is optimum office, optimize use of the printers papers and go in for double sides always as far as possible. Bringing we can say personal coffee mugs, plates instead of the disposable is another way that we can reduce the waste to go directly into the environment. Another thing is prioritize our planets, works towards reducing all form of the pollutions. We can say conduct meetings virtually as much as possible, indulge in outdoor sports and activities for physical as well as mental health instead of digital games with high carbon footprints. Another things that we can do is quit habits, unethical student environment, quit smoking and the spitting ponds in the building and the open spaces, quit laxity in the following environments, friendly behaviors, quit using products with high carbon footprints. Another things that we can do is 6 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, redesign and remanufactures. These 6 R's are very important for our life. Giving use textbooks to juniors, making rough notebooks from unused sheets of the old notebooks is another habit that we need to adopt in our daily life, and donating clothes to the charity, using handkerchief instead of the tissues is another way to conserve the resources and to go waste directly into the environments. Another is sustainable agriculture, use agriculture residues for mulching and the compositing, and sell processed stubbles instead of burning it. Another is follow natural and organic farmings practices always. Another thing is transport, plan your trips and your routes, take less congested route, even these are actually slightly longer. Use hybrid vehicles, EVs to conserve fuels, and practice International Car Free Day, World Bicycle Day and World Cycling Day. And another is regularly inflate your vehicle tires with nitrogen so that it will give you some kind of the fuel efficiency. Another thing that we can do is obey urbans, install more windows in homes for natural light, use solar water heaters instead of electric heaters. Another thing is value your culture, do an hour of yoga instead of running on the treadmills because it increases the carbon footprints. Another is reverting to the healthy dietary habits rooted in our culture like jowar, bajra and rogis and other habits that we need to adopt in our daily life. Use dyes from the natural sources instead of using chemicals for that. Another is waste management, segregating we can say biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste is also important. Install faucets, aerators to reduce water waste, recycle e-waste through recyclers instead of discarding them. Another thing that we can do is avoidance, don't spend just because you can afford it. Optimize flower decorations in marriage as well as in functions, and we need to put extra efforts for making people aware in our locality like burning of the waste by sweepers, dumping waste in the backyards. So we need to sensitize the people that these things are very bad and it's very dangerous for us and for the society also. Another is catch them youngs. That's very important. Parents should inculcate environment friendly behaviors in the children's. So involving children's in cleanliness drives in schools, colleges, or the other important things that one can do at the individual level. Another is mainstreaming environmental studies in the curriculums. That's very important. We need to aware the peoples what are the benefits of the environmental studies, what are the benefits of the biodiversity conservation itself. Another is zero carbon lifestyles, use staircase instead of lifts, and always use public transport or private transports, and solarize your home so that you can conserve the energy and also conserve or also reduce your electricity bills. We can say changing individual and the community behavior alone can have a significant impact on the environment as well as on the climate change. According to the United Nations Environment Program, if 1 out of 8 billion people worldwide adopt environment friendly behaviors in their daily lives, global carbon emissions could drop up to 20%. Positive impacts in our environment. So these are the actions which have a very long lasting impacts in our daily life. Switching off the cars, scooters engines at traffic lights, railways crossing can save up to 22.5 billion kilohertz of the energy. Another we can say is turning off running taps when not in use can save up to 9 trillion liters of the water. Another, using a cloth bag instead of we can say plastic bag while shopping can save up to 375 billion tons of the solid waste from entering the landfills. Another we can say is discarding non-functioning gadgets in the nearest e-cycling unit can recycle up to 0.75 million tons of the e-waste. We can say another things, composting waste food at home can save up to 15 billion tons of the food from going to the landfills. So uh, these are the references from where these slides have been. With this students, we end today's lectures, and this was the last lectures of our 12-week biodiversity conservation course. We will have one more lectures in which I will try to recap the things that we have studied throughout these 12 weeks. Thank you very much.